The beach house stood alone, perched precariously on a rocky cliff overlooking the tumultuous waves of the Atlantic Ocean. It was an old structure, weathered by years of salty winds and the relentless assault of the sea. For the four friends, Alex, Brooke, Jamie, and Casey, it seemed like the perfect place to escape for a weekend. Away from the chaos of their everyday lives, they hoped to relax and rekindle their long-standing friendship. They arrived on a Friday evening, the sun setting in a blaze of fiery orange and pink. The house creaked and groaned as they moved in, its age showing in every nook and cranny. After a quick dinner, they settled into the cozy living room, the sound of the waves crashing against the cliffs, a soothing backdrop to their laughter. As the night deepened, they decided to explore the house. In the dusty attic, they found an old trunk. Inside, nestled among moth-eaten clothes and forgotten trinkets, was a leather-bound book. Its pages were yellowed with age, filled with intricate symbols and strange incantations. "Guys, check this out," Alex said, his voice tinged with excitement. "It's like something out of a horror movie." Brooke, ever the skeptic, rolled her eyes. "It's just an old book. Probably some kid's fantasy journal." Jamie, always the curious one, flipped through the pages. "This is some serious stuff. It looks like a book of spells or something." Casey, who had been quiet until now, spoke up. "Let's try one, for fun." They gathered around the coffee table, the flickering light of a single candle casting eerie shadows on the walls. Jamie read the incantation aloud, the ancient words rolling off his tongue with an unsettling ease. As he finished, a chill settled over the room. The temperature seemed to drop, and the sound of the waves grew louder, more insistent. "That was weird," Brooke said, rubbing her arms. "It's freezing all of a sudden." Alex laughed, trying to shake off the creeping sense of unease. "It's just the ocean. Let's get some sleep." They retired to their rooms, the heavy silence of the house pressing down on them. The night was restless. Dreams of dark water and unseen terrors haunted their sleep. In the early hours of the morning, Casey woke with a start. The sound of water dripping echoed through the house. She tiptoed to the bathroom, but the taps were tightly shut. The dripping sound grew louder, more insistent, drawing her to the living room. There, standing in the dim light, was a figure. Tall and gaunt, its eyes glowed with a malevolent light. Casey screamed, waking the others. They rushed to her side, but the figure had vanished. Only a puddle of water remained where it had stood. Panic set in as they tried to rationalize what they had seen. "It's just our imagination," Alex insisted, though his voice shook. "There's no such thing as demons." But the evidence was undeniable. The puddle of water, the icy chill, the oppressive feeling of being watched. They were not alone in the house. Over the next day, strange occurrences became more frequent. Objects moved on their own, disembodied whispers filled the air, and always there was the ever-present sound of dripping water. The friends grew more frantic, their nerves frayed. Brooke suggested they leave, but Jamie was adamant. "We summoned it. We need to send it back. There must be a reversal spell in the book." They searched the book frantically, finding a counter-incantation. As night fell, they gathered again in the living room, the air thick with dread. Jamie began to read, his voice shaking. The house seemed to pulse with energy, the walls vibrating with an unholy power. As he finished the incantation, a deafening roar filled the room. The water demon materialized before them, its form shifting and writhing, a grotesque amalgamation of water and shadow. It lunged at them, its icy touch burning their skin. They fought back using the book as their guide, chanting the incantation with desperate fervor. The demon screamed, its form flickering, destabilizing. With a final guttural cry, it exploded into a torrent of water, drenching them and flooding the room. They stood in the aftermath, drenched and trembling, the book a soggy mess on the floor. The house was silent once more, the oppressive weight lifted. They had survived, but the experience had changed them forever. As they packed up to leave the next morning, Casey paused, looking back at the house one last time. "Do you think it's really gone?" she asked, her voice barely a whisper. Jamie nodded, though his eyes were haunted. "I hope so." But as they drove away, the sound of the ocean followed them, a constant reminder of the terror they had unleashed. In the attic, the old trunk sat undisturbed, a single, wet footprint on its lid.